Well, I'm about to make my second cook on this rocket stove by Patriot Metalworks and Smokers. It says just Patriot Smokers down there on the thing. And you may be wondering, why do I have the grill grate hanging off one of the utility hooks that are on the side? Well, I'll tell you, because we're going to put that Discada from Southwest Disco in there and make some chicken fajitas. Hey, welcome to Big Lou Barbecue and other things I want to do. I'm Big Lou, and this is what I've got going on for you. I want to show you what I did about a week and a half ago, maybe. It was on January 17th. On January 16th and 17th, we had some really frigid weather come through Louisiana. We're not used to that down here in South Louisiana. We don't have salt trucks and stuff like that. So ice is on the road. Everybody just kind of stays home. I'm a school teacher. School was canceled. I stayed home. Stayed in my sweatpants. So you'll see me cooking in sweatpants. Anyway, around sunset, I cooked some chicken fajitas in my Discada, and I heated it with my new rocket stove. You see, that was a Wednesday, and the Saturday before, I'd driven over to Mississippi to visit Patriot Metalworks and Smokers. That's run by kinfolk, my cousin Dale over there. He's a good welder, and he welded me one out of 6-inch pipe. I requested the one out of 6-inch pipe so I could heat up my Discada. By the way, when I'm speaking English, I say Discada. If I'm speaking Spanish, I call it disco, el disco, or un disco. But if I said disco in English, that reminds people of 70s dance music that wasn't very good. So when I'm speaking English, I say Discada. And if you're speaking Spanish, Discada refers to the food you cook in one of these things, and it's made out of a Plow disc. I usually heat it up on my propane cooker with propane, and but I do have a ring where I can heat it up in a campfire or something. But using a rocket stove, I can heat it up over wood, but it's a lot more efficient than a campfire. And I was really surprised at how well this rocket stove from Patriot Metalworks and Smokers did cooking this Discada, this chicken fajitas, and heating the Discada. This is not really necessarily a recipe video. It's more of a demonstration of how well the Discada works in combination with my new rocket stove, which I am really, really loving to use. Anyway, this was the second cook I used the rocket stove for, and it certainly wasn't the second cook I've used that Discada. I've had it for several years. You've seen a lot of videos with me cooking on that thing. That's the reason I don't have one of those Blackstone flat top griddle type things, because I've got that Discada. I don't need a Blackstone, you know? Anyway, thanks for watching Big Lou Barbecue. Don't want to waste any more of your time. This is how that cook went. Remember, it was cold. It was below freezing, like around 26, 27 degrees, and this thing was still working really, really well. Yeah, buddy. That thing fits real nice on there. When Dale said he'd make it for me, I said, please make it where I could use my Discada on this thing. And he sure did a good job of doing that. And anyway, I've got basically free fuel left from some storm damage to those oak trees from a recent winter storm we had, and spring storm maybe, and fall storm. And anyway, that's what I'm gonna be powering it with. Those oak branches are right there, and we're gonna cook some chicken fajitas on my Discada. All right, I'm gonna put some twigs down in there, put a few more. All right, well, earlier I put a second coat of corn oil on here. This corn oil is what I had to season up all the metal real well. Gonna just use that paper towel that I wiped it down with right there, and we'll be cooking before too long. Well, I'll tell you what, it has not been long. Just long enough, really, for me to cut up the peppers and onions over there. And I have come out and managed the fire a little bit, but it's really just been a few minutes for me to get everything ready. And let's see how, you know, that's kicked in there as far as that's gonna go. Let's see how hot this, 343, 390, 388. So it's at 300 degrees. And of course I could get it hotter. I could feel that I might add a little fuel and get it a little hotter, and then we're gonna start cooking. All right, the first thing I'm gonna do is put some pecan oil in there, and I'm gonna be making some hominy. First, I could be making refried beans or Spanish rice or something, but I'm gonna be making some hominy. I'm gonna do both white and golden. Get out of there. I did drain it. I love hominy. Anyway, stir that up. I hope you can hear from the sizzle that this rocket stove being fired on oak wood from my yard waste is quite hot. And no matter what kind of fuel I was, using, flavor really wouldn't get into it if you cook it in a pan like this. Discada's just a pan, just a big old plow disc, All right, so I'm gonna cook that up. You came to watch chicken fajitas, so I'm gonna add some salt, I'm gonna add some pepper, and I'm gonna add some red pepper. All right, I did get the tripod set up. What I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna take this Hominy right on out of here. One of the reasons I like having one of these Southwest discs, it doesn't have a lip on it. They do make some with a lip, but the cool thing about not having a lip on it, you can just scrape the food right on out into whatever kind of vessel you want to, a bowl, a pan as I'm doing here. And of course I could put it up on the side and go ahead and cook the chicken, but this is done, it's time to get it out of here. And I'm gonna go ahead and scrape that off. And be trying to make chicken fajitas. All right, I can tell it's already heated back up. Now earlier I took some 4 of those frozen chicken breasts you get at Walmart, those little thin things, cut them up into strips, and I made a marinade with what I had on hand. Because of the ice storm, I didn't feel like going to the store. Worcestershire sauce, soy sauce, and any lime juice. Put some orange soda in there. I put some salt, pepper, cumin, chili powder, stuff like that in there. Anyway, chicken's all marinated up. Let me throw some pecan oil in there before we heat this too. A little bit more of that Kenlock pecan oil. I love to cook with this stuff. You can tell this rocket stove and free yard fuel has got this Discada going. Not gonna take long for these fajitas here. Now, as this chicken cooks, I pulled it out of the middle because it's so hot. I'm putting on the Heath Rowell's garlic jalapeno rub. Now, sometimes I make my own tortillas, both flour and corn. I do not like flour tortillas for tacos unless the tacos are fajitas. Then fajitas and burritos, the only reason I use flour tortillas. I'll go ahead and start putting these around the edges right here to heat them up. All right, it's about time to cook the peppers and onions. So I'm gonna move the chicken over here, just to the edge. Normally when I make fajitas, I use poblano peppers. Went to the grocery store yesterday. The grocery store was out of poblanos. I'm substituting bells. They said the truck didn't come in because of the ice storm. And because of the ice on the roads, I did not start going to a bunch of different grocery stores. I just decided to settle for a bell. But normally, I do suggest poblanos for fajitas, bells for Philly cheesesteaks. We're gonna get that cooking. I'm gonna add some salt and pepper to these peppers and onions. It's the same way I did the hominy earlier before I had the tripod set up. Of course, I couldn't do it with 2 hands and hold the camera at that time. Pepper too. May add a little bit more pecan oil, but I think I'm good right now. All right, these peppers are about the way I like them. Like a little bit of crunch. I don't like them to be completely mushy. And I'm gonna continue to cook them, but it's time to mix that chicken just right back in there. You can leave it separate if you want and serve it like that so you can get as much chicken and peppers as you want. But I just kind of mix them in there. Gives me a little bit more room for the tortillas. Time to flip these over. We are almost done. As they get done, I kind of stack them up right there, and I'll kind of just rotate them real quick, flipping them around. Just like that. All right, these are about done. I'm gonna get my pot holders, carry this whole Discada in and put it on the trivet that Southwest Disc makes. This Discada was made by Southwest Disc. I bought it a few years ago. And if you're looking for one, they've got one. The rocket stove was made by Patriot Metalworks and Smokers. All right, so I've got some red salsa inside, and I've got some sour cream and stuff. But I'm just gonna make me a fajita right here to taste test for you on camera. Go inside, eat that hominy. You know what needs to go on here? How about a little Yucateca habanero hot sauce? But this way to give you a taste of the thing. I got sour cream and all the other fixings and stuff. My daughter likes cheese on fajitas. I don't like cheese on fajitas, especially not chicken fajitas. But anyway, she's got some cheese in there cut up. And I'm just gonna eat that fajita right there. See? Fajita's nothing but a taco, right? It's cold out here, but it's been warmed by that fire on that rocket stove. It really works as the heater. And well, I got some fire smudge on my face right there. Anyway, my goodness gracious. Marinating the chicken with the orange soda and Worcestershire sauce. That was really good. That Heath Riles jalapeno rub's good on it too. Anyway, I love you could take a hot sauce on stuff like this. Take my Jedi Knight off. It's cold out here, y'all. Anyway, I gotta get back by that fire or get inside. Thanks for watching Big Lou Barbecue.